So this is the first video for the Algebra 2 STEM final exam review. This video will cover number 1 for on page 1 of chapter 1 review. So in this problem, we're going to solve each system of linear equations. Okay, so I made a little note to myself that when we solve linear equations, a system, you could solve by graphing. So graphing both lines and seeing where they intersect. You could use substitution by substituting one equation into the other, or you can use elimination, where you add or subtract your equations to eliminate one of the variables. Now, when I look at both of my systems here, I notice that, and this isn't very dark here. I notice that in both systems, notice how the x terms line up, the y terms line up, and the constants line up in both systems. That's a little clue to me that this is probably going to be a method where I use elimination. Okay, so remember with elimination, I'm trying to see if I can eliminate my x's or my y's by looking at the coefficients of the variables. If the coefficients are opposites, we can add the equations to eliminate the variable. So right now I'm looking at the coefficients in front of the x's, 5 and 10. Those are not opposites. And then the coefficients in front of the y's, I have 1 and -7. Those are not opposites either. What we can do, though, is we can multiply one or more, both of our equations by something to make the coefficients opposites. And so I'm going to decide to get the y's to cancel by turning this 1 into a +7. That way, when I add, my y terms will cancel because 7 plus -7 is 0. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to multiply my top equation by 7. And just make sure you multiply everything by 7. Okay. So 5x times 7 is 35x. 1y times 7 is 7y. And 9 times 7 is 63. So I'm going to rewrite that new equation and then write the second one below it. I now have opposites for my y coefficient, so I'm ready to go ahead and add and eliminate that variable. So I'm going to add up and down. 35x plus 10x is 45x. These terms cancel, which is what I wanted. And 63 plus -18 is 45. So now I can solve this equation. 45x equals 45 because the y's are gone. So I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 45 to see that x is equal to 1. Now I have to be careful. I don't want to stop here. Remember, my solution to a system is the ordered pair. I have the x value. I now need the y value. So all that's left is to go and take my x value, plug that in to one of my equations in my system, and then solve for y. I'll go ahead and I'll use 5x plus y equals 9, and I'm going to plug 1 in for x. Okay. When I do that, I get 5 plus y equals 9. So when I subtract by 5 on both sides to solve for y, I see that y is equal to 4. Okay. So the solution to the system is the point 1, 4. I'm going to go ahead and solve this system the same way. It would probably be a good idea to pause the video and try this one out and then check with my answer. So again, I'm going to see if I can cancel one of my variables. Neither of the coefficients in front of x or y are opposites, so this is another one where I'm going to have to multiply. I notice that this coefficient in front of y is 1, so that's an easy one to multiply something by to get it to be opposites. If I multiply this top equation by +8, that will make this be 8y and this -8y, and that will make them cancel. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. -5x times 8 is -40x. Okay, then plus 8y. And then don't forget to multiply negative 3 by 8 as well to get negative 24. I'm going to go ahead and add my equations now. Cancels my y's. Negative 24 plus 24 is 0. That's okay if that's 0. I'm going to continue to solve for x. Okay. When I do that, I get x is equal to 0. So like before, I need to now take that value of 0, plug it in for x to get my y value. I'll plug in 0 into the top equation. Negative 5 times 0 is 0. That tells me that y is equal to negative 3.